Success, wealth, power, Kunle had it all. Until one decision changed everything. For the first time in his life, he ignored his wife's warning. One signature, one betrayal. And now, there's no way out. When greed whispers, when loyalty is tested, and when love is ignored, the price of betrayal is paid in blood. Stay till the end, because this story will leave you speechless. And trust me, the real twist hasn't even begun. Kunle Adeyemi was a man admired by many. A successful entrepreneur in Lagos, he had built his empire from nothing, relying on discipline, intelligence, and most importantly, the wisdom of his wife, Adesuwa. She was not just his partner in marriage, but in life itself. Her advice had steered him away from bad deals, dishonest people, and reckless decisions that could have cost him everything. But not everyone saw things the way Kunle did. His two closest friends, Tunde and Musa, laughed at his devotion to Adesuwa's words. "Ah, Kunle, you let a woman control you too much," Tunde would often say, shaking his head in disbelief. "You are a rich man, a powerful man," Musa added, "yet you run to your wife before making any decision. My brother, you need to wake up." Kunle would always smile and shake his head. He trusted his wife's intuition more than anything. After all, hadn't she been right every single time? "You people will not understand," he would respond. "Adesuwa sees things I don't. And besides, what is wrong with listening to your own wife?" But deep inside, the seeds of doubt were beginning to take root. One evening, Kunle sat at a private lounge with Tunde and Musa, the dim lights casting shadows over their faces. The conversation, as always, drifted toward Adesuwa. "Kunle, let's be serious," Tunde said, sipping his whiskey. "What kind of man allows his wife to dictate his every move? It makes you look weak." Kunle chuckled, but this time, something about Tunde's words struck a chord. "You guys just don't get it," he replied. Musa leaned forward. "We get it, my friend. But let me ask you one question. If Adesuwa told you to walk away from a deal that could make you billions, would you obey her?" Kunle hesitated. "That hesitation tells me everything," Musa smirked. Kunle laughed, but as he left that night, his heart was unsettled. Could it be that he had been too obedient to his wife? Was he truly missing out on bigger opportunities because of her cautious nature? A week later, Kunle was approached by a mysterious investor, a woman named Zara. She exuded confidence, elegance, and power. Her proposal? A business deal that could double Kunle's fortune overnight. Excited, he rushed home to tell Adesuwa. But the moment she heard the name, her expression darkened. "Zara," Adesuwa whispered. "Kunle, I have heard terrible things about that woman. There's something dangerous about her. Please don't do business with her." Kunle frowned. "Adesuwa, this is a once-in-a-lifetime deal." "A deal that will bring you ruin," she said firmly. Kunle sighed. He had always listened to her, but this time, he wasn't so sure. Kunle sat at a rooftop bar with Tunde and Musa, his mind swirling with Adesuwa's warning. "Let me guess, your wife doesn't approve?" Tunde smirked. Kunle nodded. "And yet, here you are, debating whether to be a man or remain under her shadow," Musa added. Kunle clenched his jaw. Was it truly weakness to ignore Adesuwa this once? "Kunle, take the deal," Tunde insisted. "For once, prove to yourself that you don't need a woman to think for you." Kunle hesitated for a moment before nodding. "You know what? You're right." That night, for the first time in his life, Kunle ignored his wife's advice. He met Zara at a luxurious hotel. She smiled, pouring him a drink. "To new beginnings," she said. Kunle hesitated, then clinked his glass against hers. The contract was signed. The deal was sealed. Kunle walked out of that meeting feeling invincible, but he had no idea that he had just signed his own death warrant. Days passed, and at first nothing seemed wrong. The money was flowing, the profits were soaring. But then, one night, Kunle received a call. "Mr. Adeyemi, we need you to move some funds. We'll send the details soon." Kunle frowned. Something felt off. Adesuwa, who had been silent about his decision until now, sat beside him and held his hand. "Kunle, something is not right," she whispered. Kunle exhaled, shaking off the doubt. "Relax, Adesuwa. I know what I'm doing." But deep down, he wasn't so sure anymore. That night, Adesuwa had a dream. She saw Kunle standing at the edge of a cliff, a storm raging around him. Voices whispered from the shadows, urging him forward. Then suddenly he fell, vanishing into the darkness. She woke up screaming, "Kunle, Kunle, please, listen to me this time." But Kunle, still blinded by pride, dismissed her fears. It was a decision he would regret forever. Kunle received an unexpected visit. 3 men dressed in black sat in his office. Their faces were cold, expressionless. "Mr. Adeyemi, you work for us now," one of them said. "There's no going back." Kunle's heart pounded. "What do you mean?" "You moved our money. That means you belong to the syndicate." Cold fear gripped him. He had walked into a trap. And now there was no way out. What happens next? Will Kunle find a way to escape the grip of the syndicate, or has he sealed his fate forever? Stay tuned for part 2 of The Price of Betrayal. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss the thrilling continuation.